Ooh. Alrighty. So, the last time for this particular session is going to be done by a slightly congested Kenneth.
Simple words.
Take it away, Kenneth.
On the last episode of Shadows of Gradiriel, we fortified Yukiege against the oncoming onslaught of evil, wherever it was coming from, however it was coming. And Silver rushed off to dance with a very scary individual. And then we bumped into her running away, and we took them down and totally shamelessly looted the enemy. Powerful boss means expensive loot. So and then we got back to town and were exhausted and or traumatized for life.
Yeah, that's true in my case.
So that's about all I got.
Yeah. Locke was effectively traumatized because one of his biggest fears came to fruition because creepy fey undead Goliath tried to kidnap him.
That is basically Locke's greatest fear, is people coming to take him away.
Indeed. Alright. So, last session ended with everyone returning to Yukiege after being sort of welcomed back as heroes, having creepy Goliath, and taking the loot of said Goliath away, which consisted of bag of colding.
We don't know yet. It's just a bag that's cold.
Right, a cold bag. A very creepy mall that Alessandra looked at and deemed, yeah, this is cursed. Don't mess with this. The same way that you don't want to mess with the creepy crossbow. So
that's still hanging out somewhere.
In the bag of holding.
It's inside the bag of holding. Which does not make him very happy.
Very annoyed.
Yes, exactly. We ended with everyone going back to Yukiege and immediately, well, more or less immediately going to sleep, particularly Locke.
I'm sure Silver and Yang just sat there and just like keep bringing the fucking drinks.
Yeah. And Silver, would the stress of that fight lead Silver to like even going to a room and just passing out in the part of the tavern?
No, she's just like half on the table and half falling off.
Okay.
She's just like, she drank until she slept.
Fair enough. Young probably, actually, yeah. Young drank a little bit with you, but when you, but she didn't drink herself to sleep. And when you were half...
Mainly reason why Silver was drinking so much was to get rid of the pain.
And perhaps the reason why you're half on the table and half not was because Young tried to help to get you to your room, but she is not strong.
No.
And you were in heavy
Silver's
armor.
in full armor.
Exactly. So, Cad, I don't know. Cad probably went straight to bed too.
Well, I went and had the glowy, scary identified. And then after that, yeah, I totally would have gone to bed.
Yep. Oak was much the same way. He followed you when you went to Alessandra to ask about the mall, and then afterwards he would have went straight to bed. So, with that all established, Locke, do me a favor.
Yes.
Make me a wisdom save at disadvantage.
Oh shit, okay. That's a 21.
Holy crap.
Slept like a baby.
Oh no, he didn't necessarily sleep like a baby. He just didn't get affected in the way that he could have. Anyway, so, with that,
He
Locke,
slept since then.
you go to sleep. You pass out on your in the loft on your bed, and the next thing you know, you see yourself, or you see a like endless gray ocean. You're standing on a beach of sorts, and it just the ocean goes on forever, and everything is grayscale. And you look down to the water, and you find that in the reflection in the water, you don't see yourself.
Ooh.
You see what appears to be a male drow with a scar down his right eye. And immediately upon you making this connection and seeing that you are not you, you hear a very small voice that's, "Why are you doing this?" coming from behind you, and you turn to look, and you see that tied up next to a campfire is a small high elf kid that, because high elves mature at like 100 years old, he's probably similar to Baby Yoda and looks like 8 but's like 50. So and you have this small high elf child that is just completely terrified and tied up next to a campfire. And you are sort of obviously a little dumbstruck at that and can't do much in the way of changing it because dream logic.
Right.
And it comes to your mind that this kid was important, but due to the same context of dream logic, you're not sure why. And then everything does this weird like grayscale shift and goes from being grayscale to being very colorful. And there's a bright sun in the sky, 2 of them, and a sparkling.
2 of them?
Yes, 2 suns, like next to each other in the sky, and there is a sparkling.
Why would Tatooine?
No. And you have a sparkling bright ocean instead of a grayscale one, and turning back to look, you are in like this very tropical area. Again, you look in your reflection, and you've shifted again, and now you are a like wood elf. And there's no scar. And then there is a kid that is tied up, and it looks to be like a little drow kid. Again, same context as before. Drows and other elves live to 100, so he's probably like 50, but looks like 8. And yeah. You now find that you can perhaps actually react to this dream as you sort of do that dream thing of trying to figure out if this is a dream that you're stuck in or a dream that you can move around in, and you can. So
Okay. I am going to think, and Viswand, are you fucking with me right now?
no response.
Ah, shit. All right. I will, am I like on a beach or just in like a tropical environment?
It's like a tropical beach.
All right.
Very pretty. What it is.
Okay. I'll look at my reflection again and try to get like, do I look like a rough and tumble type or more elegant and sleek? Like describe the reflection to me so I know what kind of asshole I'm controlling right now.
The wood elf based on the armor and things that you see both on yourself and on the reflection, the wood elf looks to be like that of a hunter. The attire actually reminds you a little bit of Riven's, except it's not necessarily this. It looks like gear that was made from like the carcass of a like a griffin instead of like an owlbear or whatever it is that Riven had previously. So he it looks like a ranger type, a very sort of aggressive sort of person.
All right. Looking at the drow, can I tell whether or not it's the just a younger version of the drow that I saw in my reflection before?
Interesting question.
Look, Amviswan's done time travel shit before, all right? I ain't taking chances.
This is true. I don't know what sort of check that would be to try to make that possible connection.
Wisdom is applying what you know.
Yeah.
So just a straight wisdom check?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That's an 18. Damn, I'm rolling good tonight.
Apparently the dice gods don't want you to have horrible dreams.
RNGesus is on my side.
Apparently. Weirdly, the kid does have similar features to the drow that you saw before. Although you do register and remember that though this drow may look like the previous drow, when you were the drow, the kid was a high elf, and you are currently a wood elf. So,
Alright.
not some weird time back and forth type situation.
Right. And what is the drow saying right now, if anything?
He is like very much mumbling incoherently and just he's hiding his face and shaking.
Can I make out what he's saying? Because I don't want to act on any of this without context.
Right. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Elvish, Deep Speech, and Sylvan.
Yeah, you can't understand what he's saying. He's speaking something in Undercommon.
Ugh.
But even though you can't understand per se what he's saying, you do register. It's sort of like when you're listening to something from like another movie in another language. After you listen to it enough times, you can realize that if somebody's like saying like a mantra or something, because you're hearing the same words even though you can't understand what the words are. So he's doing some sort of like mantra, motto, something to try to keep himself calmer, which is clearly not working.
All right. I'll look around. Is there like anything like pineapples or coconuts or anything growing on any of the trees that could serve as a safe form of sustenance?
Oh yeah, there's yeah, you're on a tropical beach. There's coconuts, sure.
All right. I will go and fetch one.
Okay.
And once I have it, I will bring it back to the kid and set it down next to him. After after doing whatever I need to like pop it open so it can actually get to the stuff inside.
Right.
Once it's opened up, do I have any tools I can use to like cut it in half or break it in half, for example?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then I'll do that and then set the two halves down next to him and just nod at it, keeping my mouth shut for now because I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Alrighty. So you sort of open it up and get it set to where he can get to all the juicy edible bits.
Yep.
Or more edible bits, I guess, because technically you can eat most of coconut. But anyway,
Right. The
and
good bits.
it takes him a moment to realize that you've set something down close to him, and after a moment he realizes it and immediately grabs it and is scarfing it. He is very hungry.
All right. Okay. I'll wait until he's done. What type of voice do I have right now? Do I know? Or can I just speak normally and it'll be fine?
Your voice would probably be a little deeper than your normal, your own voice, but you yourself can speak normal.
All right.
If you want to be a voice actor and apply a voice to him, it would be similar to Locke's, but deeper.
All right. Well, then, when the kid's done, I'll raise an eyebrow at him expectantly and wait a second and see if he says anything.
Why are you suddenly being nice?
Oh, you're a smart kid. I'm sure you can figure it out.
Can I go home now?
Is there any way I can tell what the person I'm controlling in this scenario would actually say?
It comes to you, the thought comes to you upon hearing that question that, not yet. He has to do something for you first.
Like, can I scour my head and see if there's any other information I can go off here?
You trying to focus on the the mindscape of the person that you are controlling, or the person that you appear to be in the body of. It comes to you that you are tasked with taking this kid to a castle in the middle of the tropical jungle, and he is supposed to give the people there, the nobility there, the information that he has, which concerns a gem, a very special gemstone that is meant to lead to, for lack of a better way to put it, lead to enlightenment. It is supposed to be a very powerful religious-based artifact of some sort that apparently this kid knows where it is, and he won't, the people who hired you, the nobles that hired you, want you to take this kid to them to find out where they can find it.
Ah, so I'm playing a mercenary at the moment. Gotcha.
Yes.
Right. In that case, I'll lean back a bit and say, no, not yet. You gotta do something for me first.
What's that?
The first part is not give me a hard time. I'm gonna take you somewhere. You're gonna be asked some questions. Then I'll take you home right after that. Sound fine?
Okay.
As long as we understand each other. Don't give me any crap. I point at the coconut, and I'll keep getting you food. Alright?
Okay.
Let's hear, what time is it in this night right now? Day?
Yeah.
Like high noon or late evening or what?
It appears to be very much high noon. Yes. Very bright, very midday sort of time.
Right. And are we at a campfire right now?
Yep. Well, campsite, not necessarily campfire because it's relatively warm, but yes.
Why did we stop if it's the middle of the day?
When that thought comes to you, it's because you were tired and you were getting rest, and it's almost always day here. Very rarely actually gets dark.
Right, because two suns.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Am I rested now?
Yes.
All right. In that case, I'll stand up. All right. I think we've waited long enough. Come on, let's go.
Alrighty. And you lead him through the jungle. You have what amounts to like a machete to chop your way through all the stupid tropical plants that are way too big and in your way. You very clearly know you very clearly know where you're going. And
Question. Do I have access to awakened mind right now?
you can try.
I will attempt to establish an awakened mind link with the kid.
Make for me an Arcana roll.
Oh boy, okay. That's Arcana. I actually have something in that. 8. Well, there go my good rolls for the night.
Something you go to trying to make use of awakened mind, and it's clear to you that you still have the capability to do so, even if you're not in your own form. But something's blocking you. Something's stopping you from making use of awakened mind.
All right. All right. In that case, I'll glance back at the kid as we're going and say, right, so I'm a dumbass. Remind me, what's your name?
Norvid.
All right.
So, and he's speaking up now, and so they're just gonna have questions for me, and then you are taking me home, right?
That's my plan, at least. Right. I then pause for a second. I'm gonna do something a little weird here. I'm gonna then turn back to Norvid and say, and actually, something I should probably point out. The reason I suddenly started acting really nice to you, when before I was probably being a dick, is there's actually someone else in this head at the moment. I tap my temple.
He sort of tilts his head at you, confused, like, what?
I crouch down a bit to be closer to his eye level. Okay, look, this isn't my body. Just all of a sudden I found myself in it. I'm having some weird fever dream controlling this body. I don't even know if any of this is real. But you're just a kid, so I figure you deserve to know why I all of a sudden went from being a dick to being nice.
Okay.
Right, so if I suddenly start acting like an asshole again, it's because I woke up. And the nice personality in this head went away, alright? I then hold out a hand. Name's Locke. Well, in my actual body, it's Locke, at least. Can't say what this... I gesture vaguely at my body. This guy calls himself, but...
most of the, like, I heard others referring to him as just the hunter. I don't know.
Okay, so I am currently in the body of the hunter. Good to know. Now, I have no idea how long I'm going to be in this body. Near as I can tell, I'm asleep and dreaming right now, so this could be just a couple minutes, could be hours. Dreams are weird, and I have a guy who screws with my dreams all the time. I stand upright. Long as I'm here, though, I may as well keep up appearances, and while we're going, maybe you can explain to me what was going on when I came rounding around and abducted you, or whatever happened, because I only became aware of what's going on here like a minute ago, so I'm very confused. You could explain it while we walk, I guess.
You were... The hunter was looking for someone to learn about the... He sort of looks around, and so you're not the hunter now, you're someone else?
For the moment, no idea how long it's gonna last though, so I would advise you pick your words carefully in case I suddenly disappear in the middle of this conversation and you start babbling shit you don't want the hunter to know to the hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here. I'm trying not to pick sides. I'm just going with what little information I have in this head is telling me to do.
Well, just so that you are aware, before you disappear and go back again or something, the gemstone that the kingdom here wants is simply called the Gem of Souls. If you go back to, I guess, the prime material plane, I think that's what it's called. I don't remember.
We're not on that?
He points to the two suns above your head.
Yeah, that honestly makes a lot more sense. What is this plane called? Enlighten me.
Feywild.
Oh boy. Good to know.
I don't like it. It's too colorful, but that's just me.
So are you from the prime material plane or some other part of the multiverse?
I'm actually from Shadowvale,
Shadowfell.
which is
Makes
basically,
sense. You got the dark.
yeah, it's basically just like this place except flipped.
So really dark, really depressing, hard to see anything in front of you.
Well, he kind of smirks a little bit. If you have dark vision and you're used to it, you're fine. But yeah, it's sort of dark and gloomy, but home, you know?
Alright.
But yeah, I don't know what sort of weird something is happening here or who you are, but yeah, that's at least some information, and maybe you taking it with you when you go back to wherever you're from, you can settle this weird, like, conflict that's going on. I don't know.
I'm not so sure that's within my power. I live on the prime material plane.
Well, at least you know something.
At least I know something.
Or someone does, I guess.
Yep.
Knowledge planes is not necessarily a thing in 5e. So We'll do just a straight up intelligence roll then. Make for me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence roll, okay. 9.
Okay. So you in talking to him a little bit about the different planes, with your 9 total, you recall that in the books that you read in your mom's library about the different planes of existence, that oftentimes the parallel planes, which were the planes that existed sort of in tandem with the prime material plane, the geography was often very similar, and though this place is tropical, you sort of get the feeling that this forest seems, though tropical, seems a little strange, and you're navigating it just fine because you know where you're going, but it feels, the way that it keeps trying to turn you around, it feels like the way that the Misty Forest that Leanne is in, Oak's family, how they described it would be to someone who didn't know where they were going or wasn't allowed in. It's a very sort of, this forest is very similar to that one.
Ooh. I look around then. You mentioned geographies are usually the same. Can I look around and see whether or not this, if there are like any noteworthy like geographical landmarks like mountain ranges or rivers or anything that can help me determine if that's where I am, relatively speaking?
Make for me a perception check to look around.
Okay. Five.
Yeah, nope. Trees are too tall. Much taller than they would be in the normal Misty Village forest.
Great.
In your dreams, just not this one.
Screw you, Cat. Alright.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
I mean, yeah, it was there.
I guess I'll just keep leading Norvard along then.
Alrighty. So you make your way onward, and you make it to what appears to be the castle, which you would think, because this castle is very extravagant, that it would sort of stick out, but it doesn't. It is a castle of a true castle to like wood elves, because it's a castle of trees and bark. It is a full-on castle, but instead of having stone and woodwork, stonework and masonry and all that stuff, it's like, carved and made out of.
It's like a big ass tree that just decided to shape itself.
Or a tree that was shaped into the shape of a castle. Yep.
Right. Okay. Huh. Well, that's neat.
And upon you entering in to go into this tree castle of sorts, you are immediately hit with a bunch of murky swamp water. Make a Constitution save, really quick.
16?
Cool. You don't immediately start drowning, and you break your way and come up out of the water, and you find yourself in that landscape, swampy landscape of that you generally come to associate with Vindsvept. And he is before you in all of his weird, towering, Cthulhu-y
Majestic
presence.
nature. All
I
right.
was gonna sit there and say tentacle face.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. I will look up at him, kind of.
And now you are yourself.
Right. I'll look up at him and pout and say, "You know, I had one more question I was about to ask before you did that."
I'm just glad I could get you out of there.
Oh, so you're not the one who put me there?
No, not.
I'll stand up, brush myself off a bit, cringe at the small water on me. Ugh. All right, then who did? What's going on?
Someone is trying to break my influence over you.
Oh. That is less than ideal. Any idea how we can counter that? Because I still kind of need the shit you give me.
I would imagine so, yes. We would have to... The only way that we could stop her from trying to take control or take your mind away from me, as it were, is to be her, or stop her, or at least get rid of what influence she has in the world now, perhaps.
I'm assuming it's Dallia that we're dealing with? That lady that Norro gets his power from?
Yes.
So now I have a personal time investment matter on this. Just what I needed.
He can't do much. He doesn't have a strong enough hold over you to... And I'm rather impressed you were able to resist her target on your mind. But it didn't stop her from shunting you into her realm.
What was that I was seeing, by the way? Do you know? Was that now in the present? Was that in the past?
The other realms are strange. I can take you to different time periods and allow you to see things in the past or in the future, but that's only because my realm exists outside of it.
Right. Broader view or whatever.
Right. And the other realms exist in similar capacity. They exist outside the time of the prime material plane.
So time flows at different speeds between them is what you're telling me?
Yes.
That's not going to get confusing. Just so we're clear then, the plan remains the same. Find all of the shrines mentioned in Norro's journal, all of these Villana project locations, and shut them down. And that'll hopefully weaken Dahlia's hold on things here.
Yes. And it might prove useful to... Since you do have someone who enjoys the more menial secretary tasks, it might be beneficial to you to copy down the important bits of Norro's journal and then get rid of it. Dahlia's trying to get to you through that book.
Fair enough. All right. Any other words of wisdom?
Remain strong. Don't. The reason she was able to get to you now was because of the trauma that you were dealt with, which I know you can't instantly gain all the courage in the world, but...
I like to think I've made progress.
And you have. Like I said, I'm proud of you being able to resist her.
Well, just hoping it stays that way.
Keep your friends close.
Can I just take a second to point out how odd it is to hear that wholesome sentiment coming from a creature that, no offense or anything, is kind of horrifying to look at? It's kind of jarring on the mind. Like, I look at the first time I ever laid eyes on you, I was terrified because you're terrifying to look at. Yet here you are telling me to make friends and they'll be my strength. And I just kind of give him this incredulous look. I almost feel like I get mixed signals anytime I come here, honestly.
Locke. That's what I do best. And you find yourself waking up.
Didn't even give me a chance to retort. Bastard, alright.
Yep.
Alright.
What can I
Locke's
say?
gonna get
The great old one characters are very,
fun to use.
yes. They can be all over the place.
Tell me about it. In my family campaign, brief anecdote here. The great old one patron that my brother's character has, the Observer, is really fun to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, the Observer doesn't speak. He never says a fucking word. He communicates purely through visuals and rumbling noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Like, if you
I was more confident in myself to be able to come up with crap like that would work and be on the fly, then yeah, I would totally do that. But this is why when I sometimes need time to figure out what I'm going to do with him.
Right. All right. Anyways, if that be the case, then Locke is gonna gather his shit and check and see if everything's all right downstairs with the folks. And if it is, he will move on to the inn and tavern to get everyone else's attention.
When you
Well, actually, no. Wait. If it first step's still the same. Gotta make sure all is well with the family, and if so, then I'll head to the mayor's house and immediately follow up on that. Copy down important bits from the journal thing with I've already forgotten her name, the silver lady.
Valzita.
Valzita, thank you. Yeah. I'll go spend a bit with Valzita to copy down the important bits, the names of all the different shrines or whatever we need to hit, and then I'll chuck that book on a fireplace. but yeah, it's so but one thing at a time. Downstairs, all is well with the fam?
Yes, when you make your way downstairs, you see, and because you yourself have, you know, a passing understanding of magic and such things, you see that when you get downstairs, Oak is apparently having a conversation with, or has finished up a conversation, via the sending spell.
Uh-huh.
And he was apparently speaking to your father, Frederick, and has just got done with that. And as you come downstairs from the loft, Oak sort of gives you like a gesture of hello via a sort of a mini salute sort of wave.
All right.
And he's, morning, Locke. You doing all right?
Better than I was. Slept surprisingly well. Although, considering the weird-ass dream I had, I don't know if well really describes it properly.
Well, you seem well rested, if that counts for anything.
Well rested. Anxious as all hell, though, because okay, could you... Is everyone else up back at the tavern, do you know?
I'm not sure. When I came downstairs from the tavern before I came over here, Silver was passed out half on the counter. So.
Right. Okay. Do you mind heading back there and getting them all, awake and get breakfast in their bellies or whatever, and make sure they're all attentive when I come around? I need to run up to the mayor's house first before I meet up with everyone else, but something's come up that's gonna have to kick us into gear here.
Alrighty then.
All right.
I will see you there then.
All right. I'll try not to be too long. But if I am, it just gives you a chance to make sure no one has hangovers or anything.
Yeah.
All right. And Locke will head to the mayor's house.
Yep. And Oak goes to the tavern.
Out quickly.
Alright. So you make your way over to the mayor's house. And
Yep.
as you knock to make your way inside, instead of being answered, the door being answered by the little gnome, it is actually answered by Valzita. And she's, oh, good morning, Locke.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, actually. It's quite the job here, but I like it a little more than I did from where I was before. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Now then, I pat Norro's journal. How do you feel about returning the favor?
What do you need?
I need your help copying down specific bits from this book. I hold up the journal, and then I need to fucking destroy it.
Her eyes immediately go wide and she's, okay, I can do that.
All right, thanks. As it so happens, some pretty much our arch nemesis at the moment, some creepy, Feywild, selfish asshole goddess lady named Dallia tried to possess me through it last night. While I was sleeping.
Okay, so yeah, let's get to that then.
Yeah, let's get the info we need, and then we need to be rid of this. And I head inside and do whatever she needs me to do to help with that.
Right.
I've hogged the first hour of this session already, so I say we can cut over to the others now.
Right. So, with that, we cut over to the others, and Oak comes in to see. Did Silver wake up in the morning, or did she stay mostly passed out?
She's still passed out.
Alrighty. Young has made her way downstairs, and she sees that you are still passed out on the countertop, and she's like, maybe I should have tried to stop her. Oak, I got it. And Oak will sort of just, because he knows that you are a lot stronger than he is, he like does the sort of big brother pat on the back thing rather hard, and Lester Restoration, boom.
Wait. So he's patting me on the back?
Yeah. He's like smacking you on the back to both try to wake you up and Lester Restoration.
To get rid of your hangover.
Yes.
She just mumbles and like with like a flappy wrist, just like 5 more minutes. And then back to soft snoring.
Well, she's and this is the human woman that serves at the barkeep. She's all right. She's not harming anything in the way, and I'm sure she'll wake up pretty soon anyway. Does anyone want breakfast? The human barkeep seems a little bit scattered from the fact that there is a rather powerful fighter in heavy armor passed out on her counter.
I can tell. He said Bjorkfest instead of breakfast.
Yes. Shish.
Anyone want breakfast?
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 Yeah.
Break Sonic. He's fast. Break your fast.
Alright. So, yeah. She seems a little scattered from such a thing, but ultimately okay, and is offering people breakfast. And, Cad, you would probably be either waking up or have woken up at this point.
Like, as soon as the food, like, she hears breakfast and she's, like, sitting up, like, breakfast, like, slight drool, messy hair, like, what?
And no hangover, because lesser restoration already happened.
That's some magical alcohol you have.
Oak sort of waves and his hand sparkles a little bit.
That's a nice trick.
You don't have a hangover because of me, not because of anything in her alcohol.
Ah.
And now we have Cad.
That's the thing. She sat there and mumbled in her sleep like 5 more minutes. She doesn't realize that she was right.
Yeah, I know.
That Oak had used magic on her.
But of course, it's fine. Alrighty, Cad, so you make your way downstairs, I guess?
Sure. Breakfast.
Yes. Alrighty. So, that part of the group is getting breakfast, and we cut back to Locke, who has, successfully, copied down all the notes and various things in the book, with Valzita's help. And upon everything getting completed and set, she sort of turns to you and she goes, "Okay, so you're good on, you got everything out of this book that you needed, right?"
Pretty sure, yep.
Okay, good. Well, based on what you said, let's sort of expedite this whole situation of destroying this book. And she grabs it, and I haven't done this in a while, and I wasn't really allowed to do it in front of others in Caverton for some reason. So and she freezes the book solid with ice breath and then shatters it.
Huh. That's nice. I was just gonna conjure a small bit of fire in my hand and let it burn, but that works too.
I don't get a whole lot of chances to use my birth power, I guess. I don't know.
Huh. Well, good on you. Thanks. And now then, I need to go link up with the others.
All right.
Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And tell Cat I said hello.
I will absolutely tell Cad you said hello.
Thanks.
And
And you go on your way. Make a perception check for me.
all right. That's an 11.
Let me just roll this just for sake of rolling it, because just to see where it's at. And I'm not going to do so invisibly. Hey, it's a good thing he had disadvantage, but he still rolled higher than you. Never mind. Alrighty. Anyway, moving on. So you make your way down into the tavern.
All right, and is everyone gathered there?
Yep.
All right, I will go and join them all at their table.
Alrighty.
Hey.
Morning. How you doing, Locke? Says Young.
Complicated. I am doing complicated.
I gesture over to the barkeep and could we get a donut over here?
Donut.
She smiles brightly and's like, "I got it."
All right. As soon as I've got a donut in my hand, because that's Locke's equivalent of alcohol, apparently. As soon as I've got it in my hand, I will relay more or less the situation to everyone else about what happened, about the weird ass vision, about the fact that Dallia tried to possess me or some such shit. Just give them the whole 9 yards.
All right.
and upon wrapping up, I'll say, so to boil down what all that means, we need to speed up the process of dealing with the shrines or whatever for that Valana project.
Well, I'm most definitely okay with that. As far as at least this is Oak. As far as stopping Norro is concerned, however, I don't necessarily see us going and fighting some Fey creature, powerful Fey thing, and stopping her. But we can at least, as you mentioned, we can at least stop her influence here.
Yeah, and that's the objective as far as I'm concerned. Keep her from trying to possess me anymore by breaking all of her shit and stopping Norro. 2 birds with 1 stone, really.
Yeah.
So the nearest one was Fumach, right? That was our first destination in terms of trying to track these shrines down.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
At least that's what you remembered was someplace near Fumach.
Well, I remembered Fumach because I lived there for close to a year. So then, shall we make our way? Because I personally would feel a lot better if we set out sooner rather than later. Yes?
Donut fingers.
Yes, I have donut fingers. I'm eating a... You know what? I reach over and rub the donut grease on Silver's cheek.
She just, like, slaps your hand away.
Can I get some on her cheek before she does that?
No, this is after you did that.
So yeah, it would be on her cheek, but it's before she slapped her hand away after the fact.
Okay. I'll just give her a smile. Donut
Should
face.
I roll for damage?
No, you're fine.
Donut face.
Besides, even if I did some sort of roll of damage, it would technically be an unarmed strike, which for Locke would be sort of kind of healing you because his strength is negative. 1, of course, but
No,
you know.
I was talking about me doing damage to him since I slapped his hand away.
Yeah, that's what you meant.
I mean,
Please don't.
I don't think it would work that way. You're just smacking at his hand, unless you're wanting to knock him out of the chair and actually hurt him.
Diabetic
No,
damage.
I just meant like, whatever.
It would be funny, and again, it would be an unarmed strike with a person who is not technically trained in unarmed, so you would just do your strength modifier as damage. You wouldn't even roll. Which would be a lot more than Locke's is, because your strength modifier is 4. So
Yeah.
And mine is minus something, so I'd just be doing a point of damage. Yeah, mine is -2, so I'd just be doing like a point of damage with every punch.
If your strength is -2 and you're not proficient in unarmed, does that mean that you heal her for 2 each hit?
No,
That's what we were.
1 point of damage.
That was what I was making a joke of earlier. Yes, but no. So
we were heading out somewhere immediately because the day needs saving, or else.
More or less. Dallia is trying to poach me. Fastest way to make sure she doesn't do that is to do the shit we were already doing, just expeditiously.
Yeah, sure. Let's go to her holy sites, where she probably has more power.
Kill her followers, sever her power. Break her sight, sever her power.
But the thing is, we have to deal with.
well,
I mean, it was our plan to go and break those things anyway. So
it's also worth noting that it's entirely possible that Norro is a key part of all that craziness in Caverton, and so it's entirely likely that this Dallia has some roots in the corruption in Caverton, which I think was something you wanted to get rid of, Silver.
Yeah, but this is gonna take a while.
Getting rid of all of the corruption in the capital city of the entire kingdom, which is a pretty damn big city, I might add, is
Which is
going to take
probably
a
just
while.
be. Yeah, it would probably be better just to set the whole city on fire.
No, absolutely not. There are corrupt people in charge, but all of the people under their boots still are. There's a lot of good people in there.
Okay, well, if we want, I don't know, like a warm up, we can go do this, and then after that, we can go over to. She actually sits there and pauses for a moment, just like, huh, what's that name?
Do you, the player, not remember, and so does she? Or so doesn't she?
Yes. Yes. She's still slightly fuzzy. No, it was.
Rydell,
Everton?
perhaps?
No, Rydell, yes.
Right.
There you go.
I was like, it starts with an R. That's it.
Mhm. It's fine.
Well, either way, our destination right now is Fumach. So,
Well,
if no one has any objections, I say we grab our shit and head there immediately.
Yep,
Did-
since they're after you.
And I shrug helplessly. This was our plan already. I'm just trying to nudge us along because now I have a very heavy personal stake in it.
Yes.
so
Can I ask? Wait, has this been asked? What does he want with you?
You mean Dahlia or Norro?
Both.
Norro probably just sent that person after me because, well, some of his the warden that we wound up leaving behind probably wound up being dragged directly to Norro. That sigil on his neck would have told Norro that he was running off when Norro hadn't given that command. So he would have been dragged over before Norro, and if Norro is as psychotic as we think, he would have tortured the guy for information, and I imagine he got my description since that warden saw me before when I first went to go see my father. So he probably wanted to nick me specifically so that he could have a lead to the rest of you. As for Dahlia, well, I pulled up a hand and let Amvenswanzingi blackness roll around it for a minute. All of my power already comes from one source, but she's trying to snatch me, essentially. Trying to usurp Amvenswan in terms of granting me power, take me and make me into one of her servants. Which would be really bad for me if she managed to pull that off, because then my options would either be do her will, or I snap a finger and let the shadowy stuff wink away instantly, lose my power. And as much as the means of acquisition bothers me, I still kind of need it.
alright. So everyone begins to make their way out of the tavern. And upon leaving, and making your way towards, like, the basically making your way out of Yukiege, you guys are met with what appears to be another adventuring party of sorts.
Oh, shall we flex?
Shall we not?
it is a group of 4, and I am going to reveal some tokens here, but one of them is my customary sort of gemstone token, because unfortunately this race is not one that's so commonly used in normal D&D, because this other person happens to be a blinkling, the same halfling blink dog combination, though unlike Terrence, who used a cloak to try to hide the fact that he was a blink dog, or a blinkling, this particular blinkling wears it proudly and is clearly a very showboaty bard type in amongst this group. Yes, I will reveal the tokens. We have, boom. It is the blinkling that is a bard who's wearing a sort of like leather armor or actually no, not leather, medium armor. He's actually a College of Valor bard, so he can wear medium armor. And he is male. You have a Goliath female that's dressed in sort of druid clothes. A gnome, a little gnome that is actually riding on the Goliath's shoulders. And you see a tiny globe of light that is flying around, like playfully around her head. And then, sort of in the back of the group, keeping away from everyone else, is probably the most like, for lack of a better way to put it, exotic person among them is a tiger tabaxi. Female.
I would whistle, but I don't know how.
Yes, tiger baxi, as it were. Yes. And they are making their way into town as you guys are making your way out.
All right.
Awesome.
Do they respond to us at all? Just coming out, or what?
Actually, yeah. When you guys make your way out, the Blinkling sort of speaks up and he goes, "Oh hey, it's what was her name? What was her name?" And the Blinkling seemed to be trying to recall someone's name, and I was an idiot and didn't open up my notes. So the time that it takes me to find my notes and get it to it is the time it takes him to try to actually remember the name. Cathabel. Yes. Which is this name. Not cat. No, quit that.
I was close.
Catheter.
No. Anyway,
I know you. Your name is Catheter.
The Blinkling sort of snaps his fingers and he goes, "Oh, that's the Cathabel's old friend from before." And at hearing that name, Young, though she's already been seeing, Young immediately tries to hide back in the tavern. And Oak, who sees that it's just this party and no one else, sort of catches her before she goes back inside. And he's, "Don't worry, no one's with them other than a bunch of... They're just a bunch of adventurers. They're not escorting anybody right now, Young." And, yeah.
I look around at everyone, visible confusion on my face.
Oak speaks up and he goes, "Okay, so when we were heading down to Caverton back before the whole event with the spy and all that mess, one of the we saw a wagon when we were making camp before that was apparently someone escorting a old friend of Young's, and Young and I wanted to keep away from that because said person that they were escorting was said Cathabel's father, who does not particularly care for Young. So there's a bit of a history there to sum it up. And then upon you coming to speak to about that, the Blinkling sort of, yeah, as if it wasn't obvious, Cathabel's old girlfriend there, he points to Young, and stubborn old coot doesn't like her for that reason, I think.
Ah, that sounds like a whole can of not my business.
And Young sort of like puts her head to her temple and her hand to her temple, like exactly. Can we just go?
I mean, sure. I look around helplessly for a second. And then he's going to start walking away.
You guys immediately start making your way out, and no perception check required. Locke, as you walk by as the group of you walk by the other group, there is a little orb of light, globule of light that is flying around you, apparently.
I try to grab it.
Make a dexterity check.
14.
Yeah, why not? Let me roll a. You almost get it, and it just sort of gets out of your grip just in time, and you hear a very small, very faint raspberry noise, like.
I raise an eyebrow at it and just watch it for a second, and then look back towards the other group of adventurers.
And then the little gnome girl who's she little red-headed gnome girl who's dressed in very sort of like actual
flamboyant.
Yeah, little flamboyant, almost like gesture type attire. She just looks at you and rolls her eyes and snaps her fingers, and the little fly thing goes. Sorry about that. She's a little curious sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm kind of curious about her too, but I am sadly in a hurry, so I'll have to learn about it another time.
Alrighty. And with that, you guys can move on, unless Silver has anything she wants to do with this little group.
All right. I think I don't think we're necessarily interacting with them anymore, so we're just moving on our way, right?
Yeah, you would be going on from there. Silver have
Alright.
anything to say to this bunch?
I've got nothing. I just. Anyone else?
Nah.
Sam might be muted. I don't know.
Yes, I very much was, as I sat there and made a charging noise of onward to the next town.
So it's not quite as bad as when Kenneth was muted and was like giving this some soliloquy of things that he was doing with Cat and was completely muted. Yours was just onward and it was muted. Okay.
Forwards.
Alrighty.
Why are we going forward?
So you make your way out of Yukiege and make your way down towards the wonderful city known as Fumach. Let me jump you to the town map. Boop.
Now, are we going to take the summit route? Or the long way?
To Fumach. I'd rather take the summit route. It would be faster, and we're kind of on a time constraint now.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you guys begin the trek of how long is it? Like 4 days? Yep.
It's going to be 4 days to get there. As things are now, if we were to go the long way, it would be closer to like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which we don't have time for.
Alrighty. So yeah, you guys begin making your way the 4-day trek to Fumach. Alrighty. Um,
Oh, right.
What?
I forgot to get the cold bag checked out.
Whoops. Too late now.
Yep. This is gonna be interesting.
I mean, what sort of bag was it? That's oak.
I don't know. It's a bag that's cold, and it's empty.
Bag that's cold and it's empty.
Yes.
So,
She like opens it up and shows them like empty.
so perhaps it is. I mean, I am going to roll.
Oh, did Silver ever get the the cursed maul to put in the?
It's in the
Bag.
bag of holding.
Okay.
Well, it was intended to be put into the bag of holding, but I don't think it was actually voiced that it was put there. But yeah.
Okay.
I had it looked at, and I was afraid that it might be spooky, and it was in fact spooky.
Scary skeletons.
We
Something-
have We have a cursed battle axe, a cursed crossbow, a cursed maul.
Well, if it wasn't expressly stated the night that we all literally crashed, some of us on tables, then the next day it would have made its way into the bag.
She didn't want to feel the pain anymore.
I mean,
She
yeah.
was on
Judging your tables.
She was on low health.
All right. So. Okay. I'll go this route. Everyone, go ahead and make for me just a basic intelligence check.
16.
I hit it and saw the 16 and then was sad because I realized it wasn't mine.
Nice natural one there, Silver.
Yep. It's just like, all I know, it's cold and it's a bag with nothing in it. See?
No,
Is
not
that
that
what
one.
we're rolling intelligence for?
Oh, I get it. Silver had brain freeze.
Hi.
No.
Oh, Locke did too, but out of character.
All right. So,
So what does Locke know that all the rest of these cretins don't?
it is actually Locke and Oak that sort of make the same connection at about the same time. Of, well, the bag appears to be empty, but the bag is cold to the touch for some reason. And if the bag is magical already, there's nothing harmful to potentially treat it as a bag of holding, which you guys figured out what was inside a bag of holding by turning the bag inside out.
To turn it inside out?
However,
Turn it inside out. Let's see what happens.
However, Oak is like, but
The bag is already inside out.
yeah. All right.
Oh, no.
Where are you turning it inside out at? Like in relation to everyone else?
Away.
We were walking around, right?
Yeah, you're walking down the road towards Fumach, so
She just flips it inside out in front of her.
What's the worst that could happen?
all right.
With an intelligence of 1.
I hope you're ready to bring Riven back into things a lot sooner than intended. There, knives.
Time travel.
No, not time travel. Character death.
All right.
No,
So-
but in order for Riven to come back, it's time travel.
So you dump the bag out. You turn the bag inside out and you dump it in front of you. And what hits you first immediately is smell.
Oh God.
I just need to hear the word smell to cringe. It's kind of like how some people hate the word moist.
Do I get advantage on this description?
No, I think you get the worst end of it on this time.
Actually, yeah, kinda. You almost know that something bad is coming before the bag is even all the way turned inside out. And yeah, what you dump in front of you is, as it just piles out in front of you, is seems to be random hodgepodge assortment of corpse limbs and appendages, heads, torsos, all of them in a random hodgepodge of nothing seems to go with anything else, and of different races too. It's not a pretty thing.
Locke throws up.
Yeah, figured.
And Summer's just like, what the hell? I guess it's a good thing we're cleaning the bag out. Okay.
I regret every decision I have ever made that led to this point. We're leaving. And Locke's just gonna power walk away.
Yeah, can we just like keep moving? You're like, okay.
Let someone else clean it up. I'm not. Nope.
Anyone who is not immediately appalled by the sight of all this corpse stuff, make for me a perception check.
Sure.
So that wouldn't include Locke then, because he ran away?
Nope.
5. Tonight's gonna be great.
7. Right there with you. I would do an advantage, but I'd roll like a nat 20 and I'd smell every individual species. So I'm good.
Alright. So Oak sort of stops for a second and goes, wait, hold on. There's... Okay, all this stuff is not the greatest, but I guess it makes sense for some zombie guy to have all this crap. And Oak is actually going to appear to search and go through the corpse limbs for a second.
You hear this from far away.
You're fucking disgusting!
No kidding.
I legitimately rolled away just to make that joke.
What?
Why?
Okay, I got it. And Oak, out of dealing with that mess, he sort of... Too bad we don't have a wizard who knows like prestidigitation or something. Ugh. Anyway, this, and Oak has in his hand a very ornately and pretty carved stone, which Locke, make for me a Arcana roll.
Oh boy. Okay. 11.
That's good enough. Based on the way that this simple stone is carved and decorated, you remember this from times when your mother would have access to these temporarily when you were back in Sevanora. This is a sending stone.
Oh, that's a sending stone. Out of character, what do sending stones do?
Sending stones are basically the equivalent of, in D&D logic, sending stones are basically the equivalent of a completely limitless range walkie-talkie, because it allows the user of said sending stones to use the sending spell to whoever has the other sending stone that's associated with the one you have.
Oh, so There's another one. I can't just use this one and instantly talk to Mom. No, we'd have to get the other one and then.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, is this thing on?
Here's my question.
I don't know who you are or where you are.
Is it possible to use one of these things to eavesdrop on the other side?
No.
I don't think so.
Because make use of it, you are making use of the sending spell. And what would happen is, theoretically, to effectively make use of such a thing, one would have to have designated times of the day that you and your partner for these stones knows to have the stone handy, and then you can carry on conversations back and forth in a very specific manner.
And it was in the back of Colt.
Yeah, it was. My assumption is
There's only one, right?
there's only one in the bag, or in that Oak found. My assumption would be that if he's trying to get all the crap off. Hey, Locke. Fumach is near a river, right?
Yeah.
I might need to. Yeah. Anyway, also, are we going to do something with all this stuff?
Leave it. We have no need for it.
Let the scavenger birds deal with it, or the next merchant caravan can sweep it aside. I don't know, just...
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay. Anyway, my assumption would be that the Goliath was using this to communicate either with his superior, whoever that would be, if not Norro himself, and maybe we just keep an eye on it and hope that we can...
Should we send it?
Hmm?
Do you think we should send a message?
No. I say we just keep an eye on it and listen.
Okay, who's gonna hold on to it?
Well, considering we don't know the time frame when any of these sending stones would be sent, any messages would be sent, it might be best to just, whoever is keeping watch over the next couple days when we're making our way down to Fumach, whoever's keeping watch gets a hold of the stone just in case someone sends something to it.
I can get behind that. And the rest of the time you found it, you can hold it when we're not stopping for a watch.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, glad we understand each other. Because I ain't touching it until it's been thoroughly washed.
Well, assuming that it doesn't activate on your watch, because you'd have to... Anyway. Okay, let's go. And you guys can continue onwards.
Yes.
As you leave the very messy pile of corpses and parts and whatever. Yeah. Moving on. You make your way down towards the summit trail to get down to Fumach, and you're, let's see, about right here when it is time to make camp. And thankfully your gaggle of corpses and crap is like over here somewhere. Anyway,
Okay.
So you've left that well behind, and it is time for your customary watches, and this time with an added bonus of ascending stone.
Well, who's going first?
What is typical order that we usually do? I think it felt to this.
We haven't had to take watches in a while, so I've honestly forgotten.
It was like somebody, me, everyone else.
I think at this point we were doing like 2 people per watch, except for one watch that actually has 1 person.
I mean, you could. It
Do
wouldn't
we want to
necessarily.
do it that way? Do we want to do it that way in case the person who gets sent something is like driven mad or something? Is that possible?
Sure.
It's actually fairly smart. So who do we want to be the odd one out then?
I will.
Or do we want to do
Okay.
3 watches instead of 4, and 1 watch has 3 instead of 2?
That's probably better.
Yeah.
If there's any possibility of scary.
No, I was right. 3 watches.
Oh yeah, it's 5 people, so it would be 3 watches with 1 person as an odd one out.
Yes, I can be the odd one out doing the last watch.
Okay.
Okay.
Locke will get cozy in second watch, I imagine, with one of the NPCs. Or CAD, whichever. I'm fine.
I'm good with whatever.
Okay, so we will do Oak and Cad first, and then Locke and Young, and then Silver.
Okay. So we know it's my time to roll.
Alrighty. So perception rolls for first watch, which was Oak and Locke.
Wait, wasn't Locke's second watch?
Oak and Cad. Sorry. Blah, blah.
There you go.
I just said that and I still forgot it. Anyway.
Oak and the elephant.
Yep. And we might as well do it separately. So, yeah. Rolls a natural 1. Rolls a 13. Anyway, so yeah, Cad, with your 17 perception specifically for smell, and other various such things, you are very glad that you made your way away from the pile of corpses that you left.
Indeed.
And rather than smelling any hint of that, you actually smell something. Can't be too terribly close because it's very faint, even for your heightened sense of smell. But you hear, just barely, the subtle hints of music, and your keen sense of smell picks up something sugary and sweet. That's probably about a little more than a mile or 2 away from your current camp.
Which direction?
Away from the road, towards the edge of the map, like this way. Hold on. That way. Down here somewhere. Sort of southwest-ish.
Southeast-ish?
Southeast-ish. There we go. Ugh. And Oak does not pick up on it at all. He is a little too tunnel visioned on the sending stone thing.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to just get up and go to random nobody knows it exists festival by myself, so
Yeah. Alright. So other than that, there is nothing of important. Seems to be fairly calm, other than the subtle hints of music off in the distance. And then it switches to being yours. You guys give your watch up to Young and Locke.
Okay.
So Young and Locke can roll perception.
13. Action.
Why am I rolling crap all of a sudden? I was rolling good earlier. Anyway. So with 13, you don't really catch whiff of anything of importance. It seems to be fairly calm. You do actually. Nah. Okay. I was gonna say that you saw something, but if you see it, then Oak would have seen it previously, even though he rolled a 1. So no. Because you got the same roll.
The same result, yeah, 13. Because he has that fucking plus 12.
Indeed. So
Which-
yeah. Seems rather calm. Their Young is keeping an eye on the sending stone because she knows you don't want to deal with it until it's cleaned up a little bit.
Right.
Admittedly, neither does she, but yeah.
Does it do
So-
anything?
She actually speaks up with you. Okay, so something's been. You don't think that the little gnome girl would have any connection to the Feywild? She had a little fairy with her. It looked like a fairy.
I honestly did not make that connection. I don't know.
I don't know. It
Hope
might
not.
just. I hope not too. It might just be me wanting to find some excuse to see if I can talk to them for a little bit longer to see if I can get any kind of crap on Belle's mom, or dad rather, Belle's dad, because he's not as tough as he makes him out to be in front of his daughter, and I know that if he went on some sort of escort mission with that group, that there had to be some moment when he, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You good? You didn't have any crazy nightmares when we were sleeping or anything, did you?
I told you all about the dream I had. If there were any other nightmares based around that guy trying to take me away, then for a mercy, no, I didn't have anything about that.
Good. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, at least it's calm right now. There's not really anything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with that, you're come to the sort of a little awkward ending to your watch, and both of you are free to wake up sober.
Yep.
Silver.
I'll let you and go nap.
Yep. Silver perception.
Yeah, 13.
Really? There was literally a 13 in every watch.
Yes.
Alright then.
3 sets of 13. Star Wars 13, 13, 13.
Huh.
I missed that game.
Alright. So it seems peaceful. There's not a whole lot going on. And like with everyone else, you don't get any kind of anything out of the sending stone.
Okay.
Alrighty then. Morning comes.
Onward again.
Morning comes officially.
Dawn.
Yes, morning comes officially with dawn, and everyone begins to make their way forward yet again. You about get to the mountains of the summit itself before your next camp. Which, Locke, you remember going through here before, at least a little bit. Although I don't. Wait, did you go around or did you go through previously? I think you went around.
Yeah, because I was like here. I passed through Rydale in the start when I bumped into Riven the first day.
Okay, that makes right because it was in front of the Misty Village. Duh.
Yeah, Yeah, I went the long way around.
Yep. Probably because you didn't want to try to brave the summit, because it's not exactly the most friendly terrain sometimes.
Yeah, that and Locke was still a pussy back then. He's braved
Yep.
up a little bit.
Alrighty.
Just a little bit.
So you are making your way forward, and on towards the summit. And once again, it is time for various watches and such things. I'm not even going to have you actually roll or anything, because it's a relatively peaceful night. Although, one thing of note is the terrain does start to get a little craggy because of the mountain pass.
Right.
Which Cad being sheltered in the big city has never really been exposed to such a thing. Although he's fine because he's a big tough Loxodon, but still. You've what little bit of travel you've done, you've usually stuck to the main roads rather than going through someplace like this.
It's okay. I have advantage against the terrain.
Okay, how you figure?
I'm a big brave boy.
All right then, good for you.
Okay.
If it's frightening, I would not be necessarily frightened by it. It might be new and different, but
That's a good point. You are immune to fear. Good job.
well, not immune. I'm just not
Resistant.
likely.
Yeah.
If it starts getting snowy as we pass through the mountains, by the way, Locke is going to hitch a ride on Cad's back to get out of the snow.
I mean, if you're going north, then maybe, but not so much here.
I mean, altitude's going up, mountains, snow caps, it's a thing.
That's true. It's a bit more damp and moist up this way, but not necessarily as cold and snowy. So, yeah, you're making your way, and now you guys are through the summit. It's a little bit difficult, but everybody working together, you're easily able to make your way through.
Yay.
And you are about here, and you are making your... Did Locke ever, when he left, or when he was in Fumach, did he ever do any sort of, like, herb gathering or anything of that sort? You think?
Probably not. Probably not. He probably never really left the inn except for the occasional walk just to errands that Gradiriel had needed him to do around the village. Otherwise, he probably just spent all of his time in there doing his job and hiding away from the world in his room.
Okay.
Because he was an absolute recluse at the time.
Right. Okay. Good enough. Alright. So, you are starting to make your way pretty close to Fumach. You sort of see it off in the horizon. It's a good day away. Even, the subtle, sort of craggy land in this kind of area. And watches yet, nighttime watches yet again. It is the same order as before. And in the middle watch for Young and Locke.
Perception checks, I'm assuming.
Yes.
All right. Give me a hot second here. What?
He made a noise based on you saying hot second.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 6, so there's that.
19.
Yay,
Wow.
It's not a 13. Yay.
So, Young, being the one that she is keeping an eye on the sending stone and such things, she's, Locke, she indicates to you the sending stone that she has sitting away from her because she didn't really want to, mess with it much either. And it is currently glowing.
I'll have Locke wander over and refresh my memory with sending. If someone actually answers the sending and hears the message, does the sender know where the other person is? Or does it's just communication, right? It doesn't tell you where anyone is.
Right. Based on the stakes of the spell, it is just communication. So you don't have any indicator of where or anything of that sort.
All right, in that case, I will pick the stone up and listen to the message with no intention of sending any kind of response.
Right. No.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my
You're
only
only-
Kobe.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're my only
So
Obe.
you pick up the stone, and you hear a sort of a deeper voice, almost kind of, it's like borderlining on the scope of either angry or manic, and you get simply, "You're late. Where are you?"
Do I recognize it as Norro's voice?
You only heard his voice briefly. Roll wisdom.
Okay. I can open the right thing.
With advantage because you had that moment with
Okay.
Three.
yeah. It could be Norro. You're not entirely sure. It sounds similar.
All right. I will not reply. I will wait and see if he sends anything else that'll tip me off.
Okay.
It's like, give me some information.
So there's a brief pause of like no sort of exchange or anything, and then it lines up again. "You stubborn oaf. Don't tell me you left it back in that bag again. Listen, you need to make sure that you have him and you bring him here to me." And that's it.
I put the stone down. Look at Yang. Well, that was a fat load of useless.
Did you hear anything?
I heard Norro being kind of a little complainy bitch.
Are you sure it was him?
Could have been at the very least. Sounded similar. Kind of gravelly, manic, angry, deep voice. And
Okay.
given the context and what he said, it seems like a reasonable conclusion to make. He said, and I quote, and then I recite everything he said.
Well, that certainly sounds like it could be him then. What do
Indeed.
you want to do? What do you want to do then? Do you want to just
For now,
let it be?
For now, we just let it be. We keep a hold on it. We keep it as our listening device. It doesn't let him track our position, so as long as we don't say anything into it, with any luck, he'll be none the wiser that anything's wrong for a while. And we can keep listening in. Eventually, he will catch on that something's up and this will become useless. But until such that time comes, we have a way of listening to him.
All right then.
So we keep a hold on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And watch ends. Locke just falls over. Sleep.
Young will gently wake up Silver for her watch, and then she's, well, me and Locke figured out quite possibly who has the other sending stone.
Hmm.
It, based on what Locke heard, it very well sounds like it could be Norro. So, I don't. Locke says we just want to keep it to listen in and not say anything back to him or make him any of the wiser that anything's gone wrong. So, I guess he assumes that the big guy that we've dealt with before is like unkillable or something. Because I don't know. He's and because you Locke, you repeated exactly what you heard him say.
Yes.
Okay,
Word for word.
so Young's like, well, he was talking as if it was entirely impossible that something could have happened to the big guy. So maybe
Confident in his abilities at the very least.
yeah, confident in his abilities. So maybe Locke's right. Maybe we keep the stone for a while, and then he gives us away a position or something. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. He's looking for someone to respond.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
Oh, how long do you think it'll be until he starts to get suspicious?
Based on him being as crazy as he seems to be, who knows? I mean, he's certainly not going to be. He's certainly going to be suspicious, but whether he's going to act on that until he's sure. Well, we don't want to send anything back to him in the stone. That's not smart.
That's not smart. No kidding.
Anyway.
He.
Hmm?
Okay,
What?
real quick. Okay. Was there a point where you said that he thought that the guy was unkillable or whatever?
Based
Never
on
said
how
anything like that directly, but the way he was talking implied, at the very least, a great deal of confidence in the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could let it sit down and him get suspicious and send more people over there to investigate. Or we send him a message and knock him on his ass for a bit. Or bring him down a peg.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what would be the best or smartest option here, but
Yeah, let's give it a day.
alright. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish up my rest then. Nothing really going on tonight that I saw, so. And then down she goes.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So Silver has a watch to herself. Does she do anything specific?
No.
Okay.
9.
All the 9s.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days.
It was previously 13s, and now it's 9s. Anyway.
The 13 nines.
Peaceful night. Not really anything going on. And when morning comes, you continue and make your way to Fumach proper. You about make it there as it's approaching evening and dark, but you will make your way to Fumach. And I have a map for it. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Thank me.
Yes. You guys make your way into Fumach, and Locke is greeted with his home away from home, so to speak. Gabriel's Tavern, way down here.
Yep. Wave of nostalgia, just kind of get this small, kind of anxious, nostalgic smiles like, huh. When I left this place, I never said bye.
Never said goodbye, you just left?
Well, I mean, complicated scenario, and someone who probably wanted me dead was right there, so I just dropped everything and booked it, and it was like a week or two later, still running from that I first bumped into Oak and Riven.
But when I called and messaged Gabriel before about, the information concerning the shrines or whatever, he didn't seem upset. So I guess that's good.
He's always been a very relaxed and sort of carefree sort. Just because he's not upset about it doesn't mean I don't feel bad.
Right. Okay.
The guy basically gave me a place to call home and I didn't have any, so I kind of owe him an apology, if nothing else.
Alrighty. So everybody makes their way down to the tavern, and immediately upon entering in, who actually walks in first?
Locke,
I do.
Okay, never mind. Locke is
Basically
right
the
behind
bunch.
her.
All right.
And Locke walks in a second.
So, Silver, Gabriel's Tavern is much smaller than most other taverns you have been to, and clearly from just what you've seen of this town, this is like in between the scope of towns, but that like Yukiege was much bigger, and Misty Village was rather small. So this is in between that sort of town population.
Cozy.
And immediately upon entering inside and Locke being there, there is a slightly rotund individual, human, thick beard, and he just immediately greets Locke coming in. He's, Locke, my boy, you made it.
Yeah, I said I would, didn't I?
Well, you didn't say you
might
would,
I
but you sent a message that, yeah. Anyway, it's good
I
to see you
pointed
again.
Oak. He's the one who did that. So, allow me to introduce. I gestured Oak, and then over here we've got Young, the big dude, that's Gradiriel, and we have Ira is the name you usually go by with strangers, right?
Yes, because that's my name.
Right, I'm just used to calling you Silver. That's Ira, and the rest of you, this is Gabriel, innkeeper, loud man, and makes the best damn pot of soup you have ever tasted. Swear.
Nah. I wouldn't say if it's the best, but...
Well, you would be wrong.
Come here. Let me get a look at you.
All right.
He grew an inch.
I let him get a look. I probably did grow an inch, yeah.
Probably. You've been traveling with a group of adventurers and you still look like a little twig. Come on, let's get you some food then.
Fair enough. I won't say no to a meal.
And for your friends too, of course. Any good friend of Locke is a friend of mine. So.
Alrighty.
And with that, you guys are quite obviously for this particular tavern, you are eating and sleeping free.
Yay!
Yay!
The benefits of having connections and a backstory.
Not that he would charge very much anyway, but still. And then after having, this great meal, which is most likely because he knew that you were eventually going to make your way here, he's got a setup for his wonderful soup that you enjoy. And after a moment, he will then finally address the elephant in the room that is not Cad. And he'll say, now, Locke, you remember that I have only... I'm not the biggest tavern in the world. I only have 5 rooms, usually. And unfortunately, some of those rooms are taken up. I only have 3 vacancies at the moment, so I'm assuming some of your friends might not mind doubling up a little bit.
I don't imagine there's a problem there. We can discuss it in our own time, I imagine, right?
Just making sure. Alright. I want to make sure your friends and you are comfortable.
That's appreciated.
And then he goes about, tending to the tavern and making drinks and all sorts of other various things.
Right. I'm kind of waiting for a quiet moment before I breach the subject of the cult thingy with him, because we're trying to deal with that here.
Right. And after a moment, there's a pair of they seem to be human, two human individuals that come down from the stairs up above, and they sort of stumble and make their way downstairs. They don't necessarily seem drunk per se, but they seem sort of exhausted and tired, if nothing else. And make for me perception checks around the board. Yay.
Yeah, okay. That's a 5.
27. Holy crap. Yay, plus 12. 19 on Cad's part. 13. And... Yes. Cad, with your 19 perception of specifically smell, these two, though they don't smell drunk, per se, they don't particularly smell clean either. They don't stink, but they've used the facilities here for more than just, or they've used the facilities here specifically for sleep rather than bathe, apparently. And the 27 from Oak, because it's plus 12, he sort of sees the two of them walk away, sort of stumble and walk away, and he goes, was there... Didn't in the books before we see some sort of, like, symbol that was associated with... He sort of whispers this to everybody at the table around him. Didn't we see in the book a symbol that was associated with, what was her name, Dallia? Something?
I think so, yeah.
Where is that? Do we still have that?
I don't know. I'm not the one who was keeping track of that.
It would have been in the stuff that Cad had copied. So either Cad's got it or Silver got it, because she was the one that had Cad copy it. So
What was the specific thing we were looking for?
the symbol that was associated with Dahlia.
Maybe. I don't think that was specifically mentioned to me, but if I would have copied it, then it would be in my notes.
Let's see. Alright. So, yeah. He brings out the symbol that was associated... He finds the image with the symbol of Dahlia. I don't know if it was specifically mentioned, but retconning say it is. Meh. If I didn't actually come out and say it before. I meant to, I just forgot.
Alright.
And you guys... he sort of looks through it and he goes, yeah, I think those two had something to do with the shrine or cult that we might be looking into. So, and then Young speaks up and, you want to tell them? Or, follow them? I mean, but...
That's why we came here. We came here to deal with this, so if nothing else, we should scout it out. Out of character, who here has the highest sneak skill again?
That would probably be
I have advantage. I have advantage on it, but
advantage.
I have a
but
plus 5, but
what is Silver's bonus?
I have a 0.
You have 0, but you have advantage, and
so give me invisibility.
Young has plus 6, so
Young then. All right. All right. Either
Yeah,
I could
give
go
Yang
or
invisibility.
yeah, I could give Yang invisibility, and that would give her a pretty substantial, they'll give her advantage at the very least on her stealth checks. So, all
Okay.
right. Okay. Yang, why don't you tail them?
Okay.
Keep an eye on them. And come back here before the spell wears off, and
How
we
long's
can
the
figure out
spell?
what to do from there. Last like an hour.
Okay.
All right. I go ahead and put a hand on her shoulder, expend a spell slot, and she's invisible.
Yay. All right. So she goes off, and I'm going to have her roll stealth check at advantage because yay. Yay! Boop. 21.
Thank goodness for that advantage, huh?
Apparently, holy. Oh wow. That would have been a natural one if that advantage had not been there. Okay, so Yang goes off and she starts tailing the two from before. Alrighty.
Neat.
So, with that, Gabriel sort of watched the two of them stumble off and then sees your response to that of making your random dwarf friend invisible, and then someone goes through the door to the tavern that there's no one going through the door to the tavern. Or like the tavern door opens and shuts, but he never, or the tavern door shuts, but he never sees it open. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess that's to do with your shrine that you were talking about before then.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a situation that we're kind of mixed up in, and it requires that we find these old shrine places devoted to a being called Dahlia and bust them, essentially.
That's interesting.
It's complicated, is what it is. There's a lot of history here.
Yeah. You've got yourself mixed up in some pretty dangerous stuff then, huh?
I was mixed up in dangerous stuff when I first arrived here. You kidding?
You're mostly just a scared little kid. Now you're an adventurer. A little different.
I mean, I'm still a scared little kid. The difference is I learned to have a spine about it. You can still be scared, but actually do something nevertheless.
Now, I'm proud of you either way then. Just be careful.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I just vanished on you back then.
Nah, no worries.
Well, maybe not for you, but come on, you gave me a home and I had nowhere else to go, for pity's sake. I owe you.
Yeah, sure. But you also have your own life to live. I can't keep you here.
Well, that wasn't what I had in mind. I just wanted to apologize. That's all.
Either way, it was good to see you again.
You too.
Now, so it's not really any of my business, I guess, but why was it that you ran off?
To put it in safely vague terms, someone that I really didn't want to be around and that you wouldn't want to get mixed up with passed through the tavern, and for my own safety and by extension your own, I decided to leave.
I see. Alright. I can accept that. Anyway. So, you plan to crash here for the night, perhaps?
Probably. We'll see what happens. I want to
Alright.
take a second out of character to point out that I feel kind of like I'm stealing the spotlight for this entire session.
I mean, it's fine.
Everyone else is being so incredibly quiet.
Well, I mean, no one else is getting in the mix of your stuff. They could, but they're not.
I know, it just feels odd to me.
I mean, we've had a few silver sessions. We might as well get a Locke session or two.
Fair enough, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That just
I
means
just don't want to feel like I just don't want to feel like I'm hogging too much time from the other players. Is all. I'm not the only person here.
No worries, dude. It's fine.
No, of course you're not the only person here. We're here with you.
Alrighty. So, he sort of clears his throat a bit and, alright then. Well, as I said, there are a few rooms upstairs left if you and your friends want to crash here for the night. Free of charge, of course. You'll have to buddy up in some way, unfortunately, as two of my other rooms are sort of not necessarily vacant at the moment. But yeah. And I bid you good night then, Locke.
Mm-hmm. And I guess we just hunker down and wait for Young to come back, huh?
So I'm guessing rooms are going to be like boys versus girls.
Most likely, probably.
That'll work,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, you have 3 rooms as opposed to 5 optional, and realistically, the best way to do that would be guys and girls, and then one guy is by himself, theoretically.
Yeah.
Well, since I'm twice as big as everyone else.
Yeah,
Cat
okay.
can have the single room.
Cat could have a room to himself because he's big.
He is so big. He's big enough to give me piggyback rides.
Yes.
That's kind of our thing.
It's like I walk into the room and I turn to everyone. Does anyone want to stay with me? And I hop up on the top bunk.
And the whole thing just the top.
Everyone's like,
Crash! I don't want to be swallowed by elephant cheeks. Thank you.
I hope you mean my face.
I do not. I wish I did, but I do not.
Yeah, I mean, most likely that makes the most sense to have Cad have a room to himself, and then it's Oak and Locke, and then Young and Silver, most likely.
Yep.
So yeah. After a while, Silver, or rather, after a while, Young finally makes her way back. It's just getting to that scope of the pass without a trace, or not pass without a trace, invisibility wearing off, and she makes her way back inside. Well, that's interesting. They totally do have a temple shrine thing. Not really the and graveyard creepy. And that's all I can say. It's creepy. Well, I know where the place is. I can lead you straight there, and a bit off the beaten path away from other various places. Realistically, that makes sense. But yeah, they didn't see me. Thank you for that, Locke.
You're welcome. I say we tackle it first thing in the morning. Let's hear the rest of you.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I guess we're and Young, who wasn't there for the other half of the conversation about the rooms, I guess we're doing a bit of a buddy system in these rooms this time.
Boys in one, girls in the other. The elephant gets a room to himself. So that he can be the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Because we are never letting that joke die. I point an accusing finger at Cad, and it's all your fault. I pat him on the shoulder. It's a joke.
Okay. I just sort of look around, sort of wide-eyed.
Do I have a?
And then you guys
I would
make
like
your
to
way.
I would like to minor illusion some fireflies dancing around in front of his eyes if I can. Then while he's wide-eyed and looking like that, it's just like some pretty fireflies. Make them purple. Why not?
There you go then.
I sort of draw my gaze in.
You hear a hearty laugh from Gabriel, who's finishing up cleaning up the tavern for the night. Okay, so
To sleep
You-
with us.
you make your way to the rooms, and so getting inside and everyone getting ready to bed down for the night. Young, once the door is shut to yours and you and her and Silver's room, she looks at Silver and goes, "Okay, so the two guys that I followed before are sleeping here, right? And they're currently not here at the moment. Yes? I kind of want to search their stuff. That seems like a horrible idea, but
Okay.
I just didn't want to go off and not tell anybody. And you're in the room with me, so you're here to tell. So, also, I wanted confirmation that it wasn't an absolutely stupid idea.
Well, thing don't know how long they're going to be away for.
That's a good point. I mean, they went to the shrine up there, and then I didn't venture on inside because if I had, I'd probably have lost trace of the spell before I was able to make it all the way back, and I didn't want to risk them, seeing me leave or something. So, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of hoping that they chill out in the shrine for a while and not come back until late this evening. I don't know. It was just a thought. Unless you want to, have me go in there and search and you keep watch to make sure they don't come back to the door. You could be pretty distracting.
Yeah?
I mean, anyway. It was just a thought. Like I said.
I mean, we could give that a try.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't just doing it without telling anybody and wanted some sort of confirmation that it wasn't a stupid idea. But if you do actually want to try it, then sure.
Let's go do it.
Okay. You can tell that Silver in particularly because you are the type of person that you have had your fair moments of you are being smooth, but you are sometimes not because a certain situation is sort of eh.
Yeah.
Something about this is both exciting to Young, while at the same time she seems a little bit off, as if she hasn't done this sort of thievery type things in a while.
Might be a little rusty, so shall speak.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what, you just go into the room and stuff, I'll just stand by and keep an eye out, and if I see him approaching, just to give a big whack on the door.
Something like that, sure.
Sure, why not? Let's go with that.
And if you I don't know. Maybe I can find some way to shimmy out of the windows to the room and make a way over to their other room with them on the outside. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Grand Theft Hotel.
Yeah, just jump through the window. You'll be fine.
Okay, so
I mean,
um,
which side of the tavern is their room on?
if she was to jump out of said window, she would end up probably near these trees over here.
Okay, I was gonna say, just jump to the trees.
I mean, yeah, I can get to the trees probably.
Okay.
Okay. And you guys make your way out of the room, and you go on inside, or you go over to the other set of rooms that are locked up.
Yep.
Okay. And she will make her roll with thieves' tools to sort to break into their room. But it is currently locked because they were savvy enough to lock it behind them when they left. Boop. Yeah,
Ouch. Want to give that another go?
well, at least I didn't break the thing this time.
Try going slowly and turning to the left.
I left. Never mind. There we go. Okay.
Look! Look! I'm broken in here! You're welcome.
Yes. So she's. Ha! Got it.
See, I
Okay.
told you to the left.
Shush. Keep an eye out and make sure that, you know, they don't show up or anything. And
Silver's just gonna lean up against the wall and just like watch down the hallway.
Yep. Make for me a perception check.
Sure. 17. Hey, it improved.
Yeah. So, you're leaning up against the wall next to the door, and you actually, okay, so you're leaning up against the doorway, and for a while, things seem calm and peaceful. Not really going on this late at night. You sort of see, after a moment, you see Gabriel, the sort of rotund human, come up the stairs and... Oh, hello. Ira, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct.
What are you doing still up? I thought you guys came up here to lay down.
Yeah, but just being on the safe side. Keeping watch, just in case if anything shady goes on.
Gotta love that awkward giggle when you're lying through your teeth.
Roll deception.
God damn it. She's trying to... Well, I was just gonna say, it's just like... 12.
Well,
What is his insight?
Hey Brian, would you say Gabriel knows people well?
Oh god, who rolled that 6?
I don't know. He's definitely a friendly sort, so I'd say he's trusting.
Okay.
This is
Well,
one
he
of those
just needs
cases where I'd say your own discretion.
Alright.
Insight.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Fuck.
He sort of raises an eyebrow at you and... Alright. Well, I suppose you can keep an eye out. You're not necessarily used to everyone around here. So I suppose it makes sense. But do know that he sort of pats you on the shoulder. I tend to keep it pretty safe around here, or try to. So
That's fine, but you don't have undead beings trying to follow you and kidnap you.
no, I don't.
Yeah, so, okay.
Not that I'm aware of. Does Locke have someone undead chasing him now?
No, we killed him.
He did.
He did, but we killed him.
Okay.
We unlived him.
Alright then.
We brought resting peace to him. He was so tired and cranky.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Phoenix down, I get it.
Yep. So, now then. He gives you a nod and... Alright then. Well, either way, you keep that boy safe, okay?
Yeah,
And you have a good night.
you too.
And he makes his way on up the stairs to the second floor higher up that he has for his own individual rooms. Yeah. For a moment, again, there's not really anything going on that you can see. And after a bit, you do see the two humans from before who are slowly making their way up. It's relatively late now. We're probably talking like 4 or 5 a.m. or so. So
Yeah.
clearly, if these two here were to get a full night's rest, they are going to be sleeping until like upwards of noon and after.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are slowly making their way up.
As soon as she sees them, she's just gonna slap the door and kind of like make it seem like she's pushing herself off of it and like
Okay.
stumbling around.
Okay.
Okay.
Shit.
You have disadvantage because reasons, and hey, okay. So the two that were stumbling make their way up. One of them seems to be stumbling a little bit more so than the other, and he sort of, hey, what are you messing with our room for? Get out of here.
I'm not messing with your room. You're loud, so shh. There's people sleeping.
The other
She's
human.
saying this very loudly.
Yes, the other the other
She stumbled from one wall to the next.
right. The other human sort of pats him down and all right, calm down. She's just drunk, dude. It's fine. Boop. Do 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 do. And then this thing. Boop. Okay. So,
Do I have to roll a deception?
you can go ahead and roll deception at advantage, actually.
Let's see how well I can play being a drunk when I have not had anything to drink. 16.
Decently well.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, fair enough. So you stumble your way back and make your way.
Going towards them because I probably guess I'm gonna have to pass them.
Are you going downstairs?
I thought they were coming towards the room and then we
Oh
had
yeah,
to go
okay.
to.
So you're going toward your room then.
Yes.
Alright. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get past them. The one who seems
She's
to
gonna like sit there and stumble and like slightly bump into them.
Okay.
Hey, watch where you're going. This hall is big enough for the. She like takes a minute, like looking at them, be like, no, three of us. Okay, 3 of us.
Nice. Alright. So you stumble your way and make your way back into the bedroom then.
Like, good night, and shh, people are sleeps.
Sleeps.
And
Yep.
she'll just go in and just like be like, oh dear God.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, you make your way back into your room, and like maybe a minute or two after you've made your way back into your room, you hear a very, not necessarily worried or panicked, but a very, obvious, like, tap on the, window to the bedroom that you are currently in. Yeah, that.
Okay.
We get it.
Can you stop.
Yes. Make your way over
They
to the window.
continue knocking until you laugh.
Sure.
You see Young, who is in the tree currently, that's right outside the window,
Opens the window.
and she sort of tumbles her way in, somewhat gracefully-ish, but she's fine. Okay then. So,
So, did you find anything?
I did, actually. And she presents to you a couple, like, documents, of small pieces of parchment, and what appears to be a book of some kind.
Huh. Okay.
The book has a symbol on it similar to the one that you've grown to associate with Miss Person. And
Okay.
the parchment has what appears to be a list of names. Just a bunch of random names. And some of them are like crossed out as if it was a list of people that some of the people have been eliminated.
Huh. I don't like this list.
Me neither. I don't know what it means. But
What?
So, is there any names on there that recognize?
no, not really.
Okay. Should we go tell the others?
Also, it's worth noting that even though, Kenneth was making the joke of, marked out Billy and then Timmy and then Locke thing,
Mm-hmm.
the marked out names are not in a sequential order. It's kind of like, it's how you would mark out words in a word search, where you have, you find the words in a different order than the words themselves are in. So you mark them out to keep track, but you're not necessarily going in sequential order.
They got to them when they got to them.
Precisely.
Okay.
And yeah.
Silver's going to open up the book.
Okay.
and have a bit of a read.
Alrighty then. What languages do you know? All right. That's the thing you can do.
Yeah. Can I not read it?
You can read some of it. There is a nice chunk of it that is in like the borderline Sylvan Elvish, like the very very fancy Elvish. But a lot of it is actually a good chunk of it is actually written in Common, so you can get a lot of it, but not all of it. There's some places in it that's clearly meant for someone of more in the know with particularly Elven languages.
Right.
It appears to be a book that it kind of tells a story weirdly. It talks about how there is a war of sorts that is going on in the Feywild, and basically it's requesting to the readers of this book to find for me sources of power. Yeah. Basically what you can get out of it is basically appears to, for lack of a better way to put it, it appears to be a book of quests for the cult.
Oh, cool.
A mission log.
Kind of, yeah.
Should we go wake the boys?
I mean, now? Don't we want some sleep first?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, we can, but I would prefer at least a little bit of rest.
Yeah, let's get some sleep.
Sleep?
And then, I guess Young and Silver wake up much later than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. Most likely. Alright, so everyone meets downstairs in the morning. And for a bit, Young and Silver are not there. And Oak sort of, once he realizes that Young has not made her way downstairs yet, he's just, okay. So I believe.
Through mornings.
Morning, Locke. How are you? Sleep okay? No crazy dreams?
Screw mornings. He sits down. Like, still in kind of a groggy state because he's a heavy sleeper. Kind of just like slumps against Cad's side.
Oak sort of looks to Cad, and without missing a beat before Cad can, he sort of looks towards Gabriel and goes, "Hey, Gabriel, you got donuts?"
There should totally be a cantrip that he can learn, spawn donut. Like, Big Scary's running at me. Big Scary, wait. As a bonus action, I have a donut. Okay, now run away.
Conjure donut. Yes. That needs to be a first level spell
now.
Not
more like
too powerful, too easy to abuse as a cantrip, if you can believe it. Make it have like the same like level as make food and water.
Yeah, I mean I could see that.
Like a modified version of that.
And for what it's worth, I would treat it as similar to what would happen in said Scooby Doo. It would be a lock snack. So Oak is like, I do believe we may have some more information on said cult whenever Young and Silver get down here, and that's not just from Silver's or Young's venture into the shrine before. I do think my older sister snuck into the cultist's room last night.
Interesting. What do we know then?
We'll find out. And moments later, Young and Silver make their way downstairs.
Morning.
Good morning.
And the triumphant duo returns.
Huh?
You are very loud, says Oak.
I mean, I didn't hear anything, but all right.
Right.
I
We'll
Oak-
talk later.
Oak indicates his very large ears. They're not as large as Cad's, but very large ears.
That is a very good point. So what do we know?
We talk later, not out here in the open, please.
Fair enough. Okay.
Wait, did someone see you before? I mean, I know that the guys showed up and you probably had to stumble away or whatever, but anyway.
What we will discuss later.
Okay.
Now we eat, 'cause breakfast.
Donuts and soup.
Soup?
Soup.
For breakfast?
Soup.
We are at soup. We eat soup. This is soup.
What store are you in?
The soup store.
Why are you in the soup store?
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you.
Quit yelling at me.
All right, you don't have to shout at me. There's still a soup. I just love those whole. I have no
Alrighty
idea what
then.
that's from, but I love it.
Indeed.
All right then. So. All right. With that in mind, you are served your breakfast, which apparently consists of soup because soup's store. And yeah, Gabriel is sort of giving the group a chance to discuss amongst themselves. He's keeping an eye out, but mostly to, make sure that Locke is doing okay more than anything else. And you see hide nor hair of the two cultist people.
Okay.
Well, I'm full. If everyone else is, says Oak.
Yep, I'm good to head out whenever. We've got a shrine to bust.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, exactly what is the details on that?
Near as I can tell, the idea is we're trying to stop the Valana project that Norro has going. And that involves these various shrines scattered around that we found in his notes and journals and all those documents we scraped up when we were back in Caberton. So this is one of them. We break it up, we deal with the cultists who reside there, and we maybe break down the shrine itself. That will throw a monkey wrench into Norro's plans for the Valana project, and simultaneously weaken Dallia's presence in this plane at least slightly.
Okay.
Which, we're killing two birds with one stone. We're making Norro's life harder, and we're making Dallia's life harder at the same time. Win-win for us if we succeed.
So if everyone's done, can we go back to the rooms to have this discussion?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, secret sage.
So the rooms are
We're
outside.
going upstairs
Yes, to the
discuss
rooms.
secret plans.
The Death
Yes.
Star plans. They will be safe there with our master. I'm sorry. I've been a really giggly bitch these last few days. I don't understand.
It's easier for me to Discord than it is to whisper in Roll20. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, you guys make your way out of the open, as it were, to discuss
Head
your
back
plan.
to one of our rooms. Yeah.
Probably Cad's. I mean, reasonably. Although Cad's room isn't necessarily bigger, it's just
All of our rooms are the same. We're just going to his because we weren't all in there yet.
So since we're going to talk about top
Oh.
secret stuff, I change into what's the lithe elf person?
gotta grasp.
Shadow grasp. Yeah, I change into shadow grasp and sneak into my room.
Don't know if it would matter if everyone saw you do that, but okay. Alright, so you made your way into a room to more precisely discuss plans.
Yeah, and what we discovered.
Mm-hmm. I knew you were up to something. At least you weren't discovered, I suppose. You weren't discovered, right? Says Oak.
I hope so.
Not as far as I know. I mean, I got away before the two cultists came into the room, so that's something. Young hands out the stuff that she found previously in the cultist rooms and mentioned that she very much, with Silver's help, went and investigated the cultist room while they were gone. And she found a couple of bits of parchment with a list of names, some of which are crossed out, and a book that was a mission log, as was described.
All right. Can I have Locke look over them for anything of note?
Sure.
And I mean, I read Sylvan. I know Sylvan, so I should be able to pick up more details from that book, right?
Oh, yeah.
So would I need to roll anything, or?
Give for me, I guess it would technically be investigation more than perception, because you're sort of looking over the names and various things.
Well, at least I have a bonus in investigation. That's 6.
It takes you a minute, but, you're sort of scouring it to try to see if there's anything that jumps out at you. And one thing in particular does jump out at you.
With the 6, all right.
With a 6, because it's something that would be on Locke's mind potentially when looking through these lists of names. One of the names is one of the ones that's not crossed out. It's about the middle of the list, that's why it takes you a little bit to find. One of the names happens to be Norvid.
Oh. Okay, and just to clarify, do we know what this list is? Just to clarify.
Nope, just a list of names, and some of them are marked out.
That doesn't make me feel happy thoughts.
Something matter, Locke?
I know about this Norvid person. You remember how I all mentioned I had that freaky dream where I was inhabiting the body of some enigmatic hunter in the Feywild, right?
Yeah.
The drow kid that I was hauling along behind me, that was Norvid.
I don't know if Norvid's necessarily a common name, but
he's a drow from the Shadowfell. So not common for here, at least.
That's interesting.
It is. It's concerning. On the one hand, I know drow can be kind of iffy, things from the Shadowfell doubly so, but at the same time, we're kind of enemies with Dallia, so I tried not to pick signs when I was in that scenario, but it's just a kid. I have a soft spot for the little guys. I couldn't help but feel a bit of sympathy.
Well, as you said, Feywilds and Shadowfell and all that stuff can be iffy anyway, so at least at the time you saw him in that dream, he was a kid.
Right. Time moves weirdly, so might be a kid, might be an adult now, might have just been a newborn infant for all we know. Who knows? Time's screwy.
Right. Your dream's doubly so, sometimes.
Thank you, Vindsvept, for that.
Alright. So,
I don't really know what else to make of all this, though, so at least not at the moment. I'd need to peruse it in more detail, but we have a shrine to bust, don't we?
I guess, yeah. Everyone's okay with, taking down this shrine, right?
That's why we came here.
I guess so.
Okay.
Alrighty then. And
Be back.
you guys will make your way out and make your way towards the lovely shrines that's a little less than an hour away, trek-wise, because, I mean, you know. And you are greeted with a, I don't have a map for it because I'm going to be a horrible DM and do a cliffhanger. Yay. You find your way there, and you are immediately greeted with why Young felt that it was creepy. Because it is a shrine. It seems sort of hastily built, though hastily built from stone somehow. And there is a statue of what appears to be someone of either, it looks elven, but something, just the way that her cheekbones and features are, she's more than just elf. There's something very, very, very like foreign about her appearance. And she has the statue itself is her sort of in a stance to indicate that she wants those to look up to her. She's sort of doing the thing that you have in various scenes where people are got like a sun backdrop and they look all noble and cool. She's doing that kind of thing, except there's no sun behind her. And there are what looks to be offerings of sorts that are put in front of her. Everything from food to like weapons. Most of them sort of none the best condition. And it just seems as if this is literally a shrine. And around this shrine, you have the part of which that is the most creepy, a graveyard with probably 5 of the graves dug up.
Oh.
Just hollow. Or rather open. Not hollow, but open.
Oh.
And
Okay.
that is where I'm going to end it. Because fun.
Okay. Indeed.
Okay.
Who's doing the next time?
I will say, I will do the second half, and I will have Sam do the first part. Sure.
This has been Shadow of Gradiriel.
Join us next time when we find out what my lovely players have gotten themselves into here.
I don't like the way you phrased that. I want it on record that I do not like the way you phrased that.